supposed to wait until I said hello. Then that's how it worked last night anyway. We had a great performance last night. Our young people did a tremendous job, and I hope that you will enjoy the play tonight. On behalf of the cast, it's my pleasure to welcome you this evening to our performance of Murder on the 518. They have worked hard to prepare for this production, so in order to provide an enjoyable experience for our players and for you, the audience, we would ask you to do the following things. Please turn off the ringers on your phones. If you have children who become restless, please remove them from the performance until they are quiet again. Please refrain from carrying on conversations. The play will run approximately 90 minutes, and there will be an intermission between Act 1 and Act 2, and there are some concessions available over here to your left. If you do take photos this evening, Mrs. Fitch got a lot last night, and she appreciates that, but she's happy to have some more. So if you'd like to send those to her, either at lpfitch@gmail.com or lpfitch@yahoo.com, or at the school email address, fcscrusaderswch@gmail.com. She would use those for the yearbook. All right, let's have a word of prayer, and we will let our students put on their play. Our Father, we thank you tonight for the wonderful day you've given us. We thank you for health and strength. We thank you for these students and the hard work that they have put into preparing for this play. We thank you for blessing them with a wonderful performance last night. We pray that things will go well this evening. We pray that you will be honored in the things that we do. And we thank you for your faithfulness to us and your grace and mercy in Jesus' name. Amen.
Bound for Los Angeles, now boarding on platform 2. All aboard West Coast 518.
I can't believe this day has finally arrived. The day I get to head to Los Angeles with the love of my life on our honeymoon. Can you believe we've already been married for 3 whole weeks, Caleb?
It feels like only yesterday my beautiful bride became my beautiful wife. I can't wait to spend the next 10 days exploring Los Angeles with you, Rachel.
Walking along the beach.
Visiting all the museums.
Going on all the rides at Disneyland.
Seeing all the stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. I'm so excited.
I've been looking forward to this trip every minute of every day since our wedding. I don't want anything to spoil our wonderful time together.
Well, we better hurry up and get our tickets. We don't want to miss the train.
Ella entered the train station. The platform was brightly lit against the dimming light of the waning day. People were moving to and fro, hustling and bustling to reach their destinations. Ella approached the ticket counter, eager to begin her own journey.
May I help you, ma'am?
As Ella approached the ticket counter, the young ticket seller asked, "May I help you, ma'am?" Ella replied, "Why, yes, thank you. May I please have one ticket to Los Angeles?"
Ma'am, are you saying you would like to purchase a ticket to Los Angeles?
Ella sighed in frustration at the ticket seller, who did not seem to understand her simple request to purchase a ticket to Los Angeles. It was imperative that Ella get to Los Angeles the next day to meet with her publisher and present her latest collection of short stories.
Ma'am, if I could just have your attention for one moment. I'm not sure I understand.
Yes, I need to purchase a ticket to Los Angeles. I just said that.
My apologies, ma'am. I wasn't sure if you were speaking to me or your notepad.
As a writer, I need to be constantly aware of my surroundings and record every detail so that I can incorporate it into my work. Even everyday conversations and interactions can find their place in the written world.
I see. Well, here's your ticket. Enjoy your trip to Los Angeles.
With the ticket finally in hand, Ella made her way to the boarding platform as the warm evening wind swirled about.
How can I help you, sir?
One for Los Angeles!
Yes, sir. Would you like to keep your sports equipment with you or check it?
My equipment goes where I go. You never know when the opportunity to use it will arise. You need to be prepared.
I don't think there's going to be a chance to play basketball on the train, sir.
I didn't become Mike Umbar, top sports recruiter in the Western Conference with that type of attitude.
Excuse me? I think the pursuit of knowledge should be held in a more esteem than the pursuit of basketball championships, especially at a university. I hope the students you recruit understand the value of receiving an education and do not think entirely of their college experience should be spent seeking approval of mindless sports fans.
How dare you talk about sports that way? Sports provide teamwork, physical fitness, critical thinking, and so much more. Just who do you think you are?
Professor Holly Barnes, University of Utah, Department of Physics and Astronomy. While you spend your time running around a basketball court in circles, I spend my time researching the night sky.
Isn't it a little bright in Los Angeles to be researching the night sky?
For your information, I'm going to go give a presentation on the Perseids at the Griffith Observatory. The meteor shower was particularly spectacular due to the waxing crescent moon.
You think I'm the crazy one? You're speaking gibberish, nerd.
Neanderthal.
Next customers, please.
Good evening. One for Los Angeles, please.
I'm going to Los Angeles too. One for Los Angeles, please.
I'm Abby Wells, Dr. Lauren Maloney. Nice to meet you.
You're a doctor? I'm studying medicine. Well, veterinary medicine. I'm going to Los Angeles to get some experience as an aquatic vet tech. There isn't much chance to work with marine life here in Utah, if you know what I mean. I bet you could teach me a lot.
That's nice of you to say, but I'm an emergency room physician, not a veterinarian. I doubt I could help you much with your marine studies.
But so much of medicine can be applied across disciplines. I read that in my Introduction to Marine Studies book. I think it was talking about animal studies, but I mean humans are mammals, right?
Listen, I do love my job, but everyone needs some time off. Wouldn't you agree? I'm spending my time off visiting some family in Los Angeles, and truly, work is the last thing I want to think about. It was nice meeting you, though.
Next customers, please.
Hello, my ticket seller friends. I'm gonna need one ticket to the city of flowers and sunshine.
I'm sorry, where, sir?
The city of angels, the big orange, La La Land.
I'm afraid I still don't understand, sir.
He means Los Angeles. And will you stop your tapping? I've been reading the same paragraph over and over while we were in line because I can't concentrate with all the racket. And can I get one ticket to Los Angeles, please?
Why so serious, my newspaper reading friend? Let's put a smile on that face. What's taking you off to the coast?
I am not your friend. My name is Morgan Casey, private investigator. I'm trying to read this article about bank fraud, but you seem intent on stopping that from happening. And of course, we're on the same train.
Private investigator, huh? Music can be very exciting too, but probably in a different way.
Definitely in a different way. And since you'll probably tell me anyhow, what takes you to the coast? Peace and love?
Nope. I'm off to the coast to ride my way to the top in showbiz. This guitar, it's my ticket to the good life. It won't be long before you see my name, Nelson Henry, in that newspaper there of yours, friend.
I am not your friend, and stop that racket.
Next customers, please.
It just doesn't make any sense, Jennifer. You can't base the success of a restaurant on the desserts alone. It's not a bakery, it's not a cafe, it's a restaurant, and the entrees are going to be the main feature.
You aren't even listening to me, Derek. That isn't what I said at all. The restaurant won't survive if we bill it as just another seafood place in Los Angeles. We have to have that extra piece of flair that draws people in. And that flair will be found in my desserts.
Spoken like a true pastry chef, making yourself the center of attention. Well, I'm the executive chef, and the owners told me I could take the restaurant in any direction I wanted when they hired us to be the new chef team.
Exactly, chef team, as in the both of us, not the Chef Derek show.
Excuse me, but do you need to purchase some tickets? We need to keep the line moving.
Sorry for the holdup. My husband here always seems to think that he's the center of attention, both in and out of the kitchen. 2 for Los Angeles, please.
Jennifer, if we are ever going to get this restaurant off the ground, you might want to realize that I deserve to be the center of attention in the kitchen.
Next customers, please.
Seems to be confusing you.
This place is disgusting. Just look around. It's too hot. That train is making smoke. And is that sand blowing around on the floor? This is not a place a movie star should be expected to set foot in.
Isabella, we've been over this. We have to take the train to Los Angeles as part of your next film, Sunset on the Rails. West Coast Railways is the company providing the trains for the film, and they said they won't have their name appearing in your movie unless you are seen actually riding one of their trains for publicity. It's in your contract.
Well, Lucy, I have no idea why you agreed to that. You are supposed to look out for my interests, and this is not something a movie star would be interested in.
I'm your assistant, Isabella, not your agent. He's the one who agreed to do this. Besides, I'm sure it won't be as bad as you're making it out to be.
Excuse me, miss, but those women were in line before you. Please step aside.
Do you know who I am? I am Isabella Madison, star of the movie One More Day, which is currently top grossing in Iceland, Greenland, and Norway. I don't step aside and I don't wait in lines for people. People wait in lines for me.
That's ridiculous. Just because you're a movie star doesn't mean you can just cut in front of people in line.
It's okay. You can take care of them. We can wait. We'll be there in a minute, Jillian. Don't worry about it.
She can't treat us like this just because she made some foreign film that no one has ever heard of. You deserve more respect than she does. She should wait behind you. You're the CEO of Salt Lake Pharmaceuticals.
And as CEO, I'm telling you not to worry about it.
And that is final. I don't care if the only sleeper car you have left houses 2 people. I demand my own. When is dinner? I'm famished from this whole ordeal.
Dinner will be served tonight, 7 o'clock in the dining car, and breakfast will be served tomorrow morning at 8 a.m.
The food on this train had better be prepared by competent chefs. The last thing I need is substandard cuisine. And I had best have my own table in the dining car. I will not have my meals disturbed by whatever other nonsensical people are on this ridiculous train trip.
Sorry for the inconvenience, ladies. Thank you for your patience. Where are you heading?
No problem. It wasn't your fault. 2 tickets to Los Angeles, please.
Certainly. And would you like to check your bags?
No, thank you. We have a presentation with Sunset Pharmaceuticals as soon as the train arrives. And we don't have time to wait.
I still don't understand why we can't just fly there. We could have arrived there tonight and had plenty of time to get ready for your presentation. Or should I say, for your takeover? This will be the 3rd company that Salt Lake Pharmaceuticals has acquired this year.
You know, I always worry that the change in air pressure will ruin our samples. Without the samples, there's no presentation. This is a big acquisition for us, Jillian, and nothing can go wrong.
Of course, Miss Millen. Right as always.
All aboard West Coast 518. Departure in 5 minutes. All aboard West Coast 518.
I need 1 ticket to the 518, please.
The train to Los Angeles, sir?
It doesn't matter where it's heading. All that matters is that Isabella Madison is on it, and that means I need to be on it too.
Why must you be on this train, sir?
Because I'm Sydney Bennett, paparazzo extraordinaire. I heard she had to take a train for her new contract, so I followed her all the way from Salt Lake City. I've been sitting in this station for 2 days waiting for her to show up.
We're well aware.
But my patience is finally paid off. Because I watched every person board this train, and no one else is here on assignment. Photos of Isabella Madison throwing her tantrums on this train are going to skyrocket me to the top.
All aboard West Coast 518. Final boarding call. All aboard West Coast 518.
described as quaint. The 4 tables, each adorned in modest drapery, stood anxiously awaiting the arrival of their occupants, eager to fulfill their purpose. The 3 staff members moved about, excitedly seeing to their activities.
Good evening, ma'am. The dining car is assigned seating. May I see your ticket, please?
Ella was startled by the arrival of the steward. She had not realized that she would need to bring her ticket to dinner with her, and was frightfully unprepared for this conversational exchange.
Excuse me, ma'am, but if I could just see your sleeping cabin number, I can check my list and see where your assigned table is.
I like to be the first one to arrive in group settings. It gives me the opportunity to make as many observations as possible for my short stories. I'm Ella Williams, writer, sleeping cabin 14.
Ah, yes, Miss Williams. Turns out cabin 14 is actually assigned to this table. May I get you anything else to drink while you wait?
Ella was pleased with the good fortune of selecting the table at which she was supposed to sit. And as she desired no other beverage than the water that was already provided, the remaining waitstaff returned to the kitchen to continue with their dinner preparations.
And it says right here that working in beach rescue can be just as taxing as working in an emergency room. I told you, there's so much you could teach me. Yes, I do imagine that rescuing an injured sea creature on the beach can be a very stressful situation. But as I said before, I would just like to travel in peace. Okay, cabin 6, table 2. I'm at table 2 with you! I'm gonna have the best time on this trip. At least one of us will.
I truly hope you aren't planning to entertain the diners with that instrument of yours. Some of us actually came to the dining car to dine.
You never know an inspirational strike, friend. And some people find that listening to music while eating can be a very enjoyable experience.
That's true. I've been trying to convince my husband that adding live music to our restaurant would be a great draw for patrons. But he's convinced that adding live music would distract from the atmosphere.
Is your husband on this train, friend? I would love to inform him about the benefits of music while dining, and maybe even offer my services to this restaurant of yours.
He's supposed to be meeting me here for dinner. He ran off as soon as we got on the train to go who knows where. But I'm not going to stand around waiting for him. He can meet me at the table. It was nice to meet you.
Nelson Henry, musical sensation. I'll keep an eye out for your husband, friend. Maybe we can inform him that music is the key to success.
The same train, and now the same table. What does a girl have to do to get a break around here?
Oh, come on now, friend. We are gonna have a great time together on this journey. You need to give our friendship a chance.
And why is that exactly?
Because you never know when you might need a friend. In fact, I think I know a song about that.
Please don't.
Well, maybe my writer friend would enjoy a nice dinner too. I was just explaining how music while dining can be a very enjoyable experience.
Ella winced at the prospect of the guitar-wielding man at her dinner table regaling her in song. However, she decided to give in, as arguing would only likely delay the song's inevitable arrival.
Oh, come on now, friends. Why so serious?
I'm not your friend. And do you even know what the word serious means? How do you expect to launch your music career being this passive?
I think you misunderstand me, friends. I am very serious about my music. But where will I get if I'm as uptight as you, not even willing to make a friend, or always having my face in a notepad? I want to enjoy this journey.
Well, while you may want to enjoy the journey, I want to record the journey. Writers need a great deal of material to create and work from, and recording day-to-day activities helps to provide that material. You know, in some ways, being a private investigator is like that. Like in this bank fraud case I was just investigating, the scheme was complex. There were lots of moving players in the game. If I hadn't been paying attention to my surroundings, I never would have realized it was the security guard walking the bonds out the front door.
Okay, serious friends, no dinner music. But maybe I can channel some of the serious energy at this table to write a serious song. May I borrow a piece of paper, my writer friend?
She's not your friend either. None of us are friends. Our first honeymoon meal, darling. And look, we're at table 1.
And we're in cabin 1. Must be because we boarded the train first.
I think because I'm your number 1 and you're my number 1.
Oh my goodness. You two must be on your honeymoon. No one who's been married longer than a week would be acting like the two of you.
We are on our honeymoon, but we've only been married for 3 weeks, and we love each other as much as ever.
Are you married?
Yes, I am. Though I seem to be flying solo at the moment. Where on earth is Derek? He's supposed to be meeting me here for dinner. I guess I'll have to order for him.
Why couldn't you just left your case in the cabin? The door does have a lock on it, and so does your case, and you're the only one that has the key.
You're probably right, but as I said earlier, this presentation is just too big for us, Jillian. With no samples, there wouldn't be a presentation and no acquisition. I'll just slip it under the table where it won't bother anyone while we eat.
That's a very nice camera you have there. Are you a professional photographer? You can get some lovely shots of the scenery while we travel.
Of sorts, but the only thing I want to photograph is here on the train with us.
The paparazzo, eh? Those people cause all sorts of trouble for good athletes. They should just leave people in peace.
Shh! Can you keep it down? I'm here to photograph Isabella Madison. You know, the movie star. Better go sit down before she sees me.
Seems to me that if you don't want the attention of the media, then they should choose careers that are less high profile.
Another crack at athletes. Just because no one is interested in what you do doesn't make what we do less important.
I believe I said people in general. You're the one who brought up athletes anyways. You're completely insufferable.
Didn't I see you two arguing, Oyo? What is going on?
We're in a bit of a disagreement about academics. I believe that the pursuit of knowledge is the most notable endeavor. Coach here does not.
You know, I never actually said that studying wasn't important.
Yes, you did, at the ticket counter.
Nope, I said I was a sports recruiter. And you started right in how about dumb sports are. I never even got a word in edgewise. I went to college on a sports scholarship, you know, to study. I wouldn't have made it to college without that scholarship.
And what is your degree in? A bachelor's in being loud and obnoxious?
You know, being physically and mentally fit is very important for humans. It's important for marine life, too. I was reading here that some species of marine life actually play games together and they build tools to use. Isn't that neat?
I have to agree with Abby here. As doctors, we frequently tell patients that both physical and mental acuity are both very important. I see tons of people in the emergency room that could have avoided injury by being in better shape or by using their minds to avoid the injury-causing situation.
See, the good doctor here says that we need to be using our minds while engaging in physical activity.
Yeah, I'm really sure that looking up at the stars while you run will really help avoid injury.
And there you go again.
What on earth were you doing in the kitchen?
I'm a chef, aren't I? I was doing market research for our restaurant.
In the kitchen of a train?
You have to be more open-minded, Jennifer. You never know what you can learn from new situations.
This is coming from the man who has shot down every one of my ideas. See what I mean about marriage? This is what I get to deal with.
Don't listen to her. We are just a little bit on edge because of this new restaurant we're opening.
You guys own a restaurant? That sounds exciting.
Well, we don't own the restaurant. Not yet, anyway. The owner's one of those investment real estate types. He bought the restaurant thinking it would be a breeze to run, as sort of a side business for himself, but he figured out pretty quickly that running a restaurant is really hard work. So he began looking for people with decent experience.
The owner is letting us totally design everything, right down to the paint on the walls and the napkin colors. We're hoping that if this goes well, we might be able to buy the restaurant down the road.
Isn't it hard going into a business with your spouse? I mean, Rachel and I love spending time together, but we have 2 separate jobs during the day.
It's definitely been a challenge, and we argue a lot.
You're right. Let's try to enjoy the rest of our trip. One night without talk of the restaurant, okay? We can pick this up tomorrow.
Sounds good to me. So what sights are you guys gonna see on your honeymoon?
There you are, Isabella. Did you really have to change your outfit again? The one you wore before was just fine for dinner.
Lucy, a movie star belongs to the public. These people might have already seen me today, and they expect me to change my outfit.
We need to get seated so dinner can be served. It's already after 7. I checked the chart. We're at table 3.
Lucy, who are these people sitting at my table?
I'm not sure, Isabella. The other people assigned to this table. What's the matter?
If you recall, when we purchased our tickets on this ill-conceived journey, I demanded my own dining table. I will not be forced to interact with these commoners.
Excuse me, Miss Madison, but I assure you that this tantrum you are throwing is completely unnecessary. I assure you that Jillian and I will be perfectly amicable dinner companions.
Really? This is the second time today that you've treated us like this. We don't deserve it. No one here deserves to be talked down to or to their commoners either.
Please, Miss Madison, as you can see, our dining car is full to capacity. We would love to accommodate your every request, but we cannot make more tables appear. Please sit down so we can serve the meal. We all are quite hungry.
Please, Isabella, it's fine. You don't even have to talk to them. Please have a seat.
Well, you had all better be prepared to give me everything I request for the remainder of this trip, or else none of you will be employed afterwards. I am Isabel Madison, and I will be treated as such.
I cannot believe how she keeps treating you. If this were a pharmaceutical conference, you could be making the demands like her. She has no idea who she's talking to.
Jillian, we can't always choose who we have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. But we can be the more mature people in this situation and be better for it. Now let's sit down and try to enjoy our meal.
I'm really sorry about all this.
It's okay.
I don't think we were actually introduced. I'm Lucy Blake, Isabella's assistant. We are pleased to meet you.
I'm Avery Millen, CEO of Salt Lake Pharmaceuticals. And this is my assistant, Jillian Hill.
I've heard of that company. It's an honor to meet the CEO.
Miss Millen is the youngest CEO in the company's history and has grown the corporation more in her leadership than the last 3 CEOs combined.
Thank you, Jillian. She makes it sound more exciting than it actually is, though.
Still, those are some impressive accomplishments. Did you study business?
Actually, she studied chemistry. Most of the top pharmaceuticals are based on Miss Millen's own chemical designs.
Thank you again, Jillian. When the previous CEO retired, the board of directors thought it would be a positive change to have someone running the company who actually understood how our products work. So they decided to hire me. And I did end up taking some business classes, but Jillian here is a big help with the business side of things.
That's really interesting. I studied business management myself and would definitely not know anything about pharmaceuticals. So I see what the board of directors was thinking. It sounds like their decision is working well for them.
You studied business management to get bossed around by a demanding movie diva?
Jillian!
No, it's okay. I get that question a lot. Actually, Isabella and I were friends in high school. Then we went to the same college. After she started getting roles in commercials and guest TV appearances, she asked me to be her assistant because she knows nothing about business. And to be honest, I just really needed a job. She didn't start to get like this until that business of hers really took off. Working with Isabella is great for now, but one day I would like to get into a different line of business.
Everyone okay? I'm a doctor. Does anyone need medical attention? What is the meaning of this? My dinner is ruined and my clothing is soiled.
Our sincere apologies, Miss Madison. There must
anything. We're too far from the front of the train. Someone should go out there and check it out.
I don't think that's a good idea, my sports playing friend. I think maybe we should wait till our conductor friend comes back and tells us what's going on.
That would be your solution, wouldn't it? Just use brute force, climb out of a car, and run headlong into a potentially dangerous situation.
And if we're up to you, we'd be sitting here forever waiting on some information. Take some action.
We've been here for only moments. Some patience would benefit you.
How would you
Calm down.
Hey,
Calm down, everybody.
Hey, we went to the front of the tracks, and the conductor said that there was a rock slide on the tracks. They have people cleaning it up, and we should be on our way in no time.
We greatly apologize for the inconvenience. If you would all like to go to your rooms and freshen up and then return to the dining car, we can get this mess cleaned up and then serve the meal again.
Thank you. Come on, Isabella. I'm sure you want to go change your outfit again. Isabella? Come on, seriously, it's not that bad. You brought lots of clothes. Isabella?
Miss Madison? Miss Madison! Everyone, back up! Give us this. Are you taking pictures? Stop that! Give me some napkins. Give me some water. Give me your coat to use as a blanket. Lauren, I'm getting supplies. How can I help?
Abby, there's nothing you can do.
Yes, I can. I told you.
Abby, listen to me. There's nothing you can do. There's nothing I can do. She's dead.
I can't believe Isabella's dead. It's just awful.
I know, she was so young and wasn't sick or anything.
Wow, nothing like someone dying to ruin the feel-good atmosphere of dinner, friends.
Lucy, I'm so sorry about Isabella. I know you said you two have been close friends for a long time.
It's like it's not even real. I just don't know how this happened. She was healthy all day, and even at dinner she was fine. And then all of a sudden she dies? I just don't understand.
Do you think she hit her head when the train stopped suddenly or choked on something she was eating?
I doubt it. If something like that had happened, she would have made a scene about it, and we all would have known.
What is the matter with you all? A young woman drops dead and you make jokes about her?
Lucy, I'm sure no one meant it as a joke. Right, everyone?
Right.
They just meant she never said she felt sick, and she didn't mention getting injured. And she didn't seem like she was choking.
There's no cell reception here. We must be too far into the mountains right now. I'm having no luck getting a call through to the authorities, but train personnel are trying to get a hold of someone on the radio and have asked me to take on the investigation in the meantime. Lauren, did you notice any other injuries or any clues about how she died?
Well, actually, me and Abby were just discussing that. While I was performing CPR, I discovered nothing in her airways, which disproves the idea that she may have choked.
Can you determine a cause of death?
No, her heart just stopped. I don't have no way of knowing how.
Lucy, did Isabella have any sort of heart problems? Did she have any sort of medication?
No, she's totally healthy. The last time she saw a doctor was a while ago, but her checkup was fine. If she had any medical issue, I would have known about it. We didn't pick up any medication for this trip. She hates taking any kind of medicine at all.
Do you think it was something she ate? Should we be worried?
I don't think we have to worry about that. Most all of us ate the same food. If there was something wrong with dinner, more than one of us would have been affected. And besides, other than some types of fish, there aren't really any foods that just make your heart stop. I mean, you can get food poisoning, and that can be really serious, but it isn't instantaneous like this.
So, let me get this straight. Isabella didn't have any history of heart disease or illness of any kind. She didn't eat anything that may have gotten her sick, and she didn't get hurt when the train stopped suddenly. Her heart just stopped.
Hold on! Are you saying what I think you're saying?
It seems so unlikely.
You don't really think.
Wait, what are you saying?
I'm saying
that I don't think this was an accident. I'm saying that I think Isabella Madison was murdered. Ella could hardly contain her shock and surprise. Murder on the 518? Improbable, but not impossible. The passengers began to speculate as they tried to process this sudden revelation.
Do you really think that one of us here could have killed Isabella? I mean, we were all right here when it happened. Wouldn't one of us seen something?
Rachel and I definitely did not plan on murdering one during our honeymoon. I mean, romantic trips do not include dead bodies in a dining room.
Actually, hold on there, my romantic friends. Actually, not everyone was all here together when our movie star friend died.
Nelson was right. Derek and Jennifer ran off to the kitchen as soon as the train stopped, and Morgan followed the waiter out. How can we know what they were doing while they were gone?
Ella is right. I did leave the room.
But think about it. If I had left the room, when would I have been close enough to Isabella to harm her? And what motive would I have had to hurt her anyways? Any investigator worth her salt will tell you crime needs two things: opportunity and motive. I didn't have either one. In fact, the people in the room the whole time had much more opportunity.
We went to the kitchen to make sure the sudden stop didn't cause a fire or injure anyone. We are chefs, you know.
And what motive we had. Isabella didn't do anything to us.
Well, you didn't seem too happy with the scene in which he declared you a commoner.
Well, neither did you. It seems like that could have been pretty good motivation for someone like a professor to get pretty upset.
Oh, please. Someone like myself get upset over a frivolous insult? That seems highly unlikely, especially since there are far stronger, more common people present.
Again with the insults. Somehow being athletic makes me a murderer? You heard the doc. Isabella wasn't injured. Are you saying the doc is lying to us all?
Isabella was absolutely dead. Lauren wasn't lying. I was with her the whole time. Isabella wasn't hurt. Don't you study fish? How would you even know something was wrong? Besides, the doctor was the one who went from person to person right after the train stopped. I don't appreciate your insinuation. I am a hero, a crisis happened, and I jumped in to help. Well, I have no desire to participate in this absurd debate. I feel the need to point out that you and your boss work for a pharmaceutical company, which gives you access to life-threatening material. Not to mention that we all witnessed the fact that Isabel treated you both rudely for a whole evening. Wouldn't that make you prime suspects of foul play?
Pharmacists take an oath to, you know. I would never intentionally hurt somebody with my products.
What about Ella? A good murder could be just the thing she needs for a great story. After all, she's the one that said that real life is the best story material. I am much too busy reporting events to be a part of them. And from what I have reported, it would seem that Lucy is the most likely suspect of any foul play.
That is crazy. Isabella was my best friend.
She may have been your best friend at one point, but she clearly treated you very poorly. Bossing you around, making unrealistic demands, making you clean up after her mess, and you never leave her side. You had the best opportunity and motive.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're all forgetting one thing, though. Yeah, Lucy did have opportunity and motive, but she's not the only one. She's not the only one who follows Isabella around everywhere. She's not the only one who relies on Isabella for her career. In fact, if Isabella died, Lucy's career would be over. But Sydney's career would skyrocket. The money he'd make from having exclusive photos of Isabella's death would take him straight to the top.
That's true. It's Sydney.
People, I did not kill this woman.
Can you definitely prove that you were not involved? She makes a good point for your participation in this crime.
Okay, I know I got a little excited at the mention of murder, but that doesn't mean I wanted her dead. Sure, I'm gonna profit from this, but who wouldn't jump at the chance to make some money? I mean, you all are going to Los Angeles for work.
I'm afraid I'm not convinced. I will have to confiscate your camera.
Why my camera? What?
Well, you say you didn't do this, and I do want to believe you. Innocent until proven guilty, right? So you've been taking pictures all night. You might have one that will help us identify what happened.
Fine. But I'm going with you while you search through my photos. I go where my camera goes.
I'd like to join you both. If anything happened, I'd like to know as soon as possible.
I'll come too. You know, this is a lot like trying to help a sick animal. They can't tell you it's wrong. You have to sleuth for the clue.
Sure it is.
Do you really think Sydney could have got a picture of the murderer when no one here saw anything?
No one was looking for a murder when the event actually happened. Now we have the opportunity to go back through the night knowing what we are looking for. Sydney's obsession with taking pictures of Isabella might help her after all.
Hey, don't you think we should do something with this body? I'm no expert or anything, but I don't think we should leave it in the middle of the dining room until we get to Los Angeles tomorrow.
Fair point. I'd hate to disturb the crime scene, but we can't very well leave it here.
Okay, maybe can we just stop calling Isabella it?
Lucy, maybe you should go back to your room and lie down.
I don't think that's a good idea, business lady friend. If there is really a dangerous person among us, is it really smart for all of us to separate from one another?
I have to agree with Nelson, especially since we do not know who the dangerous person is yet.
Well, you know what? I think this whole thing is just ridiculous. All I want is to get to Los Angeles and have a nice honeymoon. I have a very hard time believing that anyone here murdered anyone else. Lucy, how about you stay with us?
Are you sure? I mean, I don't really want to stay alone, but I don't want to intrude on your honeymoon.
We would love to have you join us, Lucy. Rachel's right. We don't even know a murder happened here. Everyone needs to stop jumping to conclusions. Somebody died, and that is awful. Do we have to make it more awful?
All right. Listen here, you pansies. Right now, we just need a plan. First, Isabella's body. Who's got an idea?
Actually, I do. When Jen and I were in the kitchen, we commented that the train had a really large refrigerator. I think this train must be designed for trips longer than just overnight. I bet we could use that for this, as long as everyone's okay with dry cereal for breakfast tomorrow.
Okay, that's a start. Derek, you and Jennifer, go to the kitchen and handle that. Next, did anyone get any contact getting through to the police yet? I'll take that as a no. Ella, Nelson, go to the front of the train, find the conductor, engineer, or someone, and find out if they successfully radioed for help.
Ella leapt into action, eager to gain more information for the benefit of the situation.
Come on, writer friend. Maybe you shouldn't write while you walk.
Alright, now the rest of us are just going to sit here till they get back to wait on information. Except you people. If you want to look through pictures, knock yourselves out.
Morgan, shouldn't you be giving the instructions? You are the private investigator.
Private investigators usually work behind the scenes. Once my brain gets started working on a case, I tend to forget about everything going on around me. Now, let's get started looking at these pictures.
Well,
Sydney certainly captured the whole night on this camera.
Well, it appears someone likes to hear himself talk.
Oh, shut it. I didn't see you stepping up to take any action. Seems like something a smart person would do.
Being able to bark out orders does not automatically qualify you as intelligent. But I guess you got people moving in the right direction.
Speaking of moving in the right direction, it looks like we're moving again.
Good news, everyone. We helped the kitchen staff clear space on the floor for Isabella's body. They're cooking most of the food now for our dinner.
Okay, here's the story, my traveling friends. Our train operating friends have been in contact with the authorities ever since we stopped. We're basically in the middle of nowhere, so they want us to continue to our final destination of Los Angeles, where we'll probably have to put off our arrival plans a little bit, though.
Miss Millen, what if we miss your meeting? That's the whole point of us being here.
Oh, I'm sure the company will understand, given the circumstances.
This is just a mess. I'm gonna try and contact them to figure the schedule out. Hopefully now that the train is moving, we'll have better reception.
Hey guys, come help us move Isabella's body into the cooler. Lauren, come see if you think this will work for the rest of the trip.
I'll come too.
Are you seriously still taking pictures? What's the matter with you? She's dead.
You bet I'm still taking pictures. You know how much these are worth?
Seriously, that's very inappropriate. And declaring that you're going to capitalize on her murder doesn't exactly make you sound innocent. Plus, the police are going to confiscate your camera. It's evidence.
But it's private property. Besides, they have to give it back eventually, and I'll still be the only ones with these pictures.
Excuse me, everyone, but the kitchen staff is ready to serve the meal. If you could all please vacate the dining area for a few minutes, we can clean up the mess and have dinner served momentarily.
I'm sorry, but we'd better leave the dining room as is. If Isabella's death was due to foul play, there may be evidence in the room that could help us identify what happened. Can we serve dinner somewhere else?
The lounge car is available, though there may not be enough table space. But as long as some people don't mind standing, it should be a fine space to serve.
Ella was surprised at the physical strength required for the task of moving a body. Even with the assistance of many, she required immediate sustenance.
What I think Ella means to say is that was much harder than I expected. Jen, pass me my water.
Good thing this is a short trip. This is definitely not a long-term storage solution.
Everyone, please. We know you're probably all very hungry. If you follow us, we'll show you to the lounge car and serve you dinner.
I'm gonna go eat in my room, I think. I've had enough excitement for one night.
Sounds good to me. Rachel, why don't we eat with Lucy?
Yeah.
Actually, a quiet dinner in my room sounds appealing. Can we just make our plates and take them elsewhere?
Sounds good to me. What's our private investigator think?
I suppose folks could eat in their rooms. It's not like anybody's going anywhere.
Of course, no problem at all. Anyone wishing to dine in their quarters can collect their plates and head to their rooms. Excuse me, sir. Did you not hear us? We'll be serving dinner elsewhere. Sir, can you hear me? Sir? Sir? Sydney? Sydney, can you hear me?
Abby, there's no use. His heart just stopped.
He's dead.
All right, everyone. It's time we face the facts. We have 2 people found dead due to sudden, unexplained heart failure. It is possible to believe that with 1 death, it was a unique occurrence. But with 2 deaths, we can't deny it anymore. There is a murder on this train. We don't know who, we don't know how, and we don't know why. But what we do know is if we don't figure this out soon, there could be more of us dead by the time we reach Los Angeles.
is almost over? Yes. One way to get them on stage, huh? If you were here last night, or some of you grads who read the script, you can't give me an answer. But if you think you know who committed this because you're figuring it out, not because somebody told you, I would like to have a few guesses. So raise your hand if you've got a guess. Who do you think it is? Is that Tori? You think it's Hannah? How many think it's Hannah? She's the assistant to the CEO, to Lily. Okay, Andrew, who are you going for? Oh, you're going for Hannah too. Poor Hannah. All right, anybody going for anybody else? Who are you going for? Jillian. That's Hannah. Hannah's being sunk. Who are you going for? Ella. Because she sits there. That's not a bad idea then. The executive chef. They haven't met the executive chef yet. Are you talking about the one that's at the table? Oh, the tall one. Okay. You're going for the family member. Anybody else? That's the extent. Yeah, last night we had a bunch of little kids and everybody had a choice. And they picked some really strange choices too. Okay. Well, I'm going to find my way back in and we'll go on. And there it is.
No, you're not. You're staring at me.
Your expression is most captivating. You look despondent. Ella sat across the table from the despondent young woman. She sat in silence, quietly clinging to the small golden trinket in her hand. Ella wondered at the significance of the small golden piece.
Isabella gave it to me. I didn't even realize I was holding it.
The young woman was clearly deeply affected by the sudden death of her close friend and employer.
Isabella wasn't just a close friend. She was my best friend. I don't know if I'm sad or angry or frightened or what I'm feeling.
Despondent.
I don't mean to interrupt, but I just don't really understand. Hey, Jillian, I didn't see you come in. What do you mean?
How could you say she was your best friend? She didn't seem to care about you at all, or anyone for that matter.
It's hard to explain. I think success can do things to people. Isabella never cared about being famous. She just wanted to act. She was always the happiest when she was playing a part.
Are you saying she was pretending to be mean?
Isabella's agent was always telling her that no one pays attention to nice movie stars, and that if she wanted to be noticed, she really had to make a scene wherever she went. And I know it always seems like she was so mean to me, but I know that wasn't really her. That crazy Isabella you guys saw, that was just how she acted in public. Playing another part, I guess.
But didn't it bother you that she always made herself the center of attention? Don't you think you deserve some of the credit?
I never wanted that. I like being behind the scenes. That's why we worked so well together, while we spent all that time together for so long. See this necklace? Isabella bought us matching ones before this trip. She said it's because we did all of this together.
I really had no idea.
Most people don't, but she built her whole image on being the stereotypical crazy movie star. I always thought she could have made it by just being herself. And maybe if she wasn't so awful to everyone, she would still be alive. Anyway, you seem to spend a lot of time with Avery. You must see multiple sides of her personality, right?
Yeah, I guess a little, but she's pretty much the same person all the time. I like things to be straightforward. You know, it's been a long day. You really should go eat something. I think they're still serving dinner in the lounge car.
Thanks for listening. Most everyone else keeps trying to interrogate me because they think I murdered my best friend and the photographer chasing her. You're right. It has been a long day. I think I'm just gonna skip dinner and go to bed. Good night.
Rachel, what's the matter? Sweetheart, what's wrong? Why'd you run out of the lounge crying?
This just isn't how our honeymoon was supposed to go. I wanted everything to be perfect.
I know, I wanted everything to be perfect too.
Now when we get to Los Angeles, we're going to have to spend all of our time in a police station instead of enjoying our honeymoon. We didn't do anything wrong.
I know that, sweetheart. We're all suspects. We have to let the police do their job.
Circumstances getting you down, my honeymoon friends?
Yes, this honeymoon is turning out to be a disaster.
Oh, come on. It's not all that bad.
Are you serious? 2 people have been murdered and you say it's not that bad?
Well, think about it. It wasn't either of you two, right? And maybe you'll have to delay your honeymoon plans a little bit, but you'll be spending your time together before you know it. And think of the story you'll have to tell when you get home.
Nelson has the right idea, guys. This will all be over before we know it. For us, at least, who didn't know either of the victims.
I suppose you're right, Nelson. I think Rachel and I are losing sight of why we're on this trip in the first place.
Thanks, Nelson. I think this whole thing just made me a little crazy.
How is it that you keep so calm and positive? I mean, aren't your plans for Los Angeles ruined too? Didn't you say you have a meeting about your music?
Well, truth be told, my friends, I don't have a meeting. I sent a lot of my music into the record labels in LA, but I never heard back from any of them. So I figured I'd pack up my guitar and come out here and try my luck anyhow.
Well, Nelson, I don't think I would have the courage to do something like that. I bet someone will decide to give you a chance.
Thanks.
Yeah, you're so determined. I bet your music's great. Want to share some of it with us?
I'd love to, my friends. I think I left my stuff over at the table in all the confusion.
Hey, Jillian. Hey, guys. Have you guys seen Morgan anywhere? I really need to speak with her.
Sorry, business lady friend. We haven't seen much of her lately.
Yeah, are you alright? You don't look so good.
I'm fine, actually. I just lost something. I'll just look around here. What are you guys up to in here anyways?
Nelson was just about ready to play some music for us.
You're playing music at a table where someone was just murdered? That doesn't bother you at all?
You seem upset, Miss Millen. Can I help? What's missing?
Oh, I'm fine. I just lost something. It's no big deal. But if you do see Morgan, just send her my way.
Of course, Miss Millen.
Would you stop it? You can't just come barreling in here and disturb all the evidence. Well, never mind. Clearly, no one seems to care that there has been 2 people dead in this location, and that nothing should be disturbed until it is processed by the authorities. Where is that private investigator anyways? Shouldn't she be handling this?
I never said I was going to touch anything. I just left my wallet at the table. I don't think that getting my wallet would disturb the evidence, do you?
Well, people eager to remove things from crime scenes seems somewhat suspicious. But also, if you must know, I left my reading glasses and left them on the table during all of the confusion.
So it's not okay for me to come get my wallet, but it's perfectly fine for you to come get your glasses? Why is that? Seems pretty suspicious to me.
Because I will barrel through the room and disturb everything in sight.
I don't barrel anywhere.
Will you 2 stop it? You both have been at each other's throat all night. If whatever you 2 are fighting about is nothing compared to the problem we have at hand. If we could all just focus on the problem.
Really? You two should take a page out of Nelson's book of positivity.
That's not exactly what I meant.
So true, friends. So true.
If we could all just focus on the problem.
Come on, guys. Let's go be calm and positive somewhere else.
Ah!
kitchen.
We're chefs, not murderers. We have nothing to do with these deaths.
I'm not accusing you of murder. I'm worried about the safety of the passengers. We have to get to the bottom of this.
And is it very safe for the other passengers that we store the bodies in my cooler?
We emptied the cooler before we put the bodies in it. There's no danger to the passengers there.
Hey, Jillian, did you come to help us sleuth for clues? No, actually, I came back here to look for my cell phone after I lost it during all the commotion with Sydney. Did you guys put his body in the cooler too?
Unfortunately, they did. It is completely unacceptable.
Listen, for the last time, there's
why
no
did you
danger
No, I
to
am
the
not a
passengers.
murderer, but I wish I was.
Hey, cut it out.
Look, here are 2 more people to invade my kitchen.
We're not here to invade your kitchen. Actually, we were just coming to tell you how much we enjoyed the dinner we just had.
What are you guys doing in here?
We were sleuthing for clues in the kitchen.
Sort of. I'm convinced it's something to do with what the victims ate.
Morgan, I need to speak with you.
We already told you, there are virtually no foods that would cause this to happen. You searched the kitchen. Did you find any dangerous food?
We all ate the same things. Take it from people who work in a kitchen. When you serve something like this, an event where everyone eats the same food and all the dishes are the same, you have no idea which plate is going to end up at which table.
And do you really think the waitstaff decided to put dangerous food on just 2 plates? And even if they did, I'm not saying that you did. But what are the chances that those 2 plates would end up in front of the intended people?
I see what you're saying. What about the waitstaff, though? They serve each person individually, and they were in the room the whole time before the meal was served. Plenty of time to see where each person was sitting.
We have been in and out of the kitchen a dozen times by now. The trays get handed straight to the waitstaff, and they walk out the door. When would they have the opportunity to sabotage the food?
Weren't Isabella and Sydney at different tables? Did 2 waiters decide to commit murder?
Okay, I get it. The food theory just doesn't quite add up.
If you are quite satisfied, we will be returning to the kitchen without all of you.
Something's missing. What's missing? I really need to speak with
I
you,
know what's
Morgan.
missing.
What are you talking about?
Owen said something's missing. I know what it is.
You do?
No need to sound so surprised.
I didn't mean it that way. I was just trying to. Okay, enough. Mike, tell us what's missing.
It seems like you people are all too hung up on not finding out the how and finding out the why. People died. We got that. It happened in the dining car. We got that too. Now you're just chasing around a food theory that's gotten you nowhere. You can only try and make a layup so many times without a miss before you have to switch up shots and go for the outside 3-point shot. So back up, reassess, and try another approach to the problem.
Ella!
You think it was Ella who killed them?
No. Ella can tell us what's missing.
I don't follow.
You know how she's always writing down everything that's going on? She was taking notes the whole time we were in here for dinner. She's taking notes right now. I bet she can help us remember what we were all doing.
Abby, that's a great idea.
Hey, I bet if you put Sydney's photos together with Ella's notebook, you could paint a picture of practically everything that was going on in the room all night. Where is Sydney's camera anyway?
I remembered seeing it at the table when we moved his body. The camera isn't here!
What? Where did it go?
People have been in and out of this room all night that anyone could have picked it up, and no one would be the wiser.
Maybe Ella can tell us that too. What do you say, Ella?
Ella was displeased to have her writing disturbed. However, she recognized the importance her notes could have in solving the mysterious murders that occurred, especially in light of the disappearance of the photographer's camera, which created a large gap in the quest for visual evidence.
I believe that was a yes.
Jen, let's go see if we can find that camera.
No! All of us are staying right here until we figure this thing out.
But
I know not everyone was here, but Mike was onto something before. All of us in the room have been trying like crazy to figure this thing out. Either we're all the best actors ever, or we genuinely don't have anything to hide. Now, let's go back through Ella's notes and focus on the people who haven't been trying to solve the crime.
Morgan, I need to speak with you privately now.
What's up, Avery? You don't look so good. Avery, if you don't feel well, we really need to know.
I'm fine, actually. Good thing you're here, though. So you both know that I work at a pharmaceutical company and that I have a presentation to go with all my samples, right?
Right.
Well, when I opened my case right after the rock slide, everything was fine. But when I opened my case again in my room, a vial was missing.
What? Avery, that is not good. What does it contain?
Well, that's the worrisome part. It's a new medication my company's developing. It's supposed to help regulate heart function. So, what you're saying is that you're missing a vial of untested heart medication on a train where 2 people have been found dead due to heart failure?
Oh my goodness!
What is it?
Avery's missing medicine that causes heart failure.
Are you serious? When are we going to share that with the rest of us?
This new development is most exciting.
Morgan, your whole let's focus on other people theory is crazy. This woman clearly had the means to commit these murders, and she had the opportunity. We should have kept the focus on her the whole time.
Do you really think she would have brought this to our attention if she was the one who committed the crime?
Maybe that's her plan, to make us think she's innocent.
But Derek, from what I'm reading here, Avery was nowhere near Cindy at any point in the evening. And I think it is somewhat far-fetched to believe that there are 2 separate murders on this train.
Derek, come back.
Let's give those 2 a minute. Avery, tell us more about this medication. Well, like I said earlier, our medication's main goal is to help people regulate their heart function.
But what would happen if someone who didn't have a heart problem took the medication?
Well, I suppose too little would go unnoticed, but too much could cause major problems.
What characteristics does the medication itself have? Could it be hidden somehow?
Actually, that's what our company's been working on. We've been developing a new line of medication that is in liquid form and has no taste, so that people who have problems swallowing traditional medication can take this instead.
That sounds like a great idea. I bet it'd be useful for animals too. Focus.
Okay, so if you claim it wasn't you, who else had access to your case?
Well, that's the weird part. I'm the only one with the key. And the only time it was open was at my table and in my room.
I'm sorry about before, everyone. I'm pretty on edge. I thought we could all use some water. Anyone?
Sure. Thanks, guys.
Ella was parched from excitement and welcomed some refreshment.
Sounds good to me.
Here you go.
Don't drink that!
Why? What's the matter?
The water glasses. That has to be what happened.
If the medicine is a liquid, it can be easily hidden in a beverage.
It's colorless and tasteless. They wouldn't even know they're drinking it.
Guys, Ella took amazing notes. And right before boat dust occurs, many of us were sipping water.
What about when Cindy died? I don't remember us drinking anything then.
Well, it's not quite as clear, but remember, right before Cindy died, those who helped move Isabella's body came back in the dining room and had some water.
Well, good catch. So now we just gotta figure out who got close enough to the medicine, and who got close enough with the medicine and put it in the water.
We still have to find Sydney's camera too, though.
I'm positive that this notebook will continue to be a valuable resource. I'm confident that we will figure out who had the opportunity.
We might not need the notebook after all. I think you're right.
Attention passengers, we will be arriving in Los Angeles in approximately 10 minutes. Please be prepared to leave all belongings on board until the police have had the opportunity to speak to everyone individually. Thank you.
Do Do you both have any idea what happened?
Tell us. Okay, everyone. We have 10 minutes before we reach Los Angeles. Grab that notebook and let's get to work. Now that we know exactly what we are looking for, we can catch the murderer by surprise if we all work together. Are you all in?
Yeah.
Go team!
Just arrived, West Coast 518 from Salt Lake City. Has just arrived on platform 4. Just arrived, West Coast 518.
All right, back it up, folks. We're conducting an investigation here. This platform is closed. Back up.
All right, folks, if you head right this way, we can start taking your statements. Please leave all belongings on the train until we conduct an adequate search.
Right this way, folks. We will try to do this as quickly as possible. Stay together.
Sir, your guitar. Madam, your book. You with the bag. Please, folks, all belongings stay on the train.
While wanting to follow the officer's wishes, Ella was dismayed at the prospect of being separated from her writing supplies during what promised to be a very exciting series of events. She also failed to comprehend how a guitar and a marine studies book could pertain to the details of this particular investigation.
What?
She doesn't like to be separated from her notebook. I can put my book back on the train, though. Nelson, would you like me to take your guitar? Avery, I can take your case, too. That won't be necessary. I'll be handing my case straight to the police.
You're handing your case over to the police? Don't you think you should keep it with you?
Nonsense. I wouldn't want to leave them a whole case of medication that they couldn't even open. Here's the case and my keys. Hello, officers. Let me introduce myself. My name is Morgan Casey, and I'm a private investigator. I wanted to deliver this evidence along with that silver case straight to you guys. In this bag contains the notepad that belongs to our resident writer, Ella Williams, which I think you will find very helpful in reconstructing the activities that happened on the train during the journey. In the bag also contains the camera that belonged to the deceased paparazzi, Sydney Bennett, who was constantly taking pictures up until he died.
You found the camera?
That's awesome. Where was it?
I didn't even know our photographer friend's camera was missing.
Wow, what a stroke of luck for us. The poor guy might actually help him solve his own murder.
You say this camera was missing? Where exactly did you find it?
Actually, his camera was never missing. The one I brought along to record my upcoming lecture looked very much like Sydney's. Mine is still missing. This one was under Sydney's table the whole time.
I took the opportunity to go back through the camera, and Sydney took one picture as clear as day of Isabella's murderer poisoning her water glass.
What? He did? Wait, poison? But who?
Why wouldn't he say anything?
You think he was still trying to make more money?
I knew it wasn't the food.
Photograph of the poisoning?
And let me guess, this case contains the poison?
After Isabella died, it didn't take long for us to figure out her death was no accident. Everyone else was fine. We thought she might have hurt herself when the train stopped suddenly, but our doctor here confirmed that she wasn't hurt.
That's true. I checked on everyone right after the train stopped, and no one was injured.
Who was it? Who poisoned Isabella?
At first, we suspected Sydney did. He had the most to gain by selling off the pictures, and of course he denied it. But he said we could look through his camera to see if there were any helpful pictures.
And he is the other one who is deceased?
Well, that's when we realized we had to look for another suspect.
Avery, you weren't even with the people who were looking for who killed Isabella and Sydney. Derek, Jennifer, Lauren, Abby all went with Morgan to look for clues. How did you end up being the one who figured it out?
Well, I realized I was the one carrying a whole case of potential danger. When I opened my case right after the rock slide, everything was fine. But when I opened my case again in my room, I realized a vial was missing.
You're missing dangerous medicine? We will have to find it. The rest of you could be in danger.
Your medicine poisoned Isabella? It was you. It must have been you. No one else had access to your case. Plus, you were sitting at the same table as Isabella for dinner. And you just said in front of everyone that you opened the case right before she died. I can't believe you tried to make me feel better right after you killed her.
Lucy, listen. I thought the same thing at first. But when I looked back through Ella's notebook, I realized that Avery was nowhere near Sydney at any point in the evening. She didn't kill Sydney, and she couldn't have killed Isabella.
But there was one other person at the table with you and Isabella. One other person who handled the open case of medicine. And the only other person who was near both Sydney and Isabella right before they died.
Jillian!
Going somewhere? Gotta be quicker than that to surprise me.
Fine, you figured it out. It was me. I don't believe this. Jillian, how could you?
I didn't mean to kill her, Lucy. Honest, I didn't.
But you did kill her. And why Sydney? Why?
I was so angry at the way she treated us back at the train station and again at dinner. She was so rude to everyone. I mean, what did she think gave her the right to act that way? Fame doesn't give you the right to be like that.
You killed her over a couple of insults?
No, all I wanted to do was embarrass her. When I found out that Sydney was on the train taking pictures of her, I thought, what would be just the thing to bring Isabella down a notch? She was so concerned about being her best and looking better than everyone else that I figured a bunch of pictures of her getting sick all over the train right before her big movie premiere would be just the thing to bring down her perfect Hollywood image.
So you poisoned her to make her sick?
When Avery opened the case after the train stopped, I slipped out the vial closest to me before we shut it again. During all the commotion, I put some of it in her water, but I had no idea what I put in her water would kill her. I didn't meant for her to die.
Jillian, how many times have I told you that the items we work with are very dangerous? What on earth were you thinking? And why kill Sydney, though? He was going to sell off the embarrassing pictures just like you planned.
When he started talking about how he was going to make all this money from it, I realized it didn't matter what happened to Isabella. She was still going to be famous, and Sydney was going to get rich from her fame.
So you killed him?
When Morgan and Avery decided to go through his camera to find a picture of the murderer, I knew I had to get it. He never stopped taking pictures, and I was sure he had a picture of me poisoning Isabella's water. And I knew I would never get it from him willingly, so when I saw my opportunity, I put the rest of the vial in his water.
You knew it was going to kill him, Jillian, and yet you did it anyway.
And for nothing. Now I find out that I have someone else's camera. I didn't even see anybody else with one.
That's because nobody else had a camera.
I wondered why you guys kept calling this empty water glass a camera. I'm glad I just went along with it.
Avery and I figured out that Jillian was the only other person who had access to the case of pharmaceuticals, and we realized she must be the murderer. Holly went back through Ella's notes and realized that Jillian must have Sydney's camera, but we knew she would never give up the evidence unless we tricked her into it.
That's when I decided that if we made Jillian think we still had Sydney's camera, it might make her nervous enough to confess. And I was right.
So I do have Sydney's camera, and you guys never had a picture of me poisoning anyone.
Of course, now that you've confessed in front of all of us, It doesn't really matter if we have a picture or not. You're under arrest. Let's go.
And I would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for you meddling strangers.
All right, folks, we'll still have to ask you all to come down to the station for official statements. But now that we have the murderer, we should be able to wrap this up soon enough. If you will come with me, we have cars waiting to take you downtown.
Nice work, everyone. Abby, brilliant idea on the camera bluff.
Abby, I know I didn't want to walk on this trip, but obviously this trip had other plans. You're a great asset for all the chaos, and I know you make a great vet tech.
That means so much coming from you. I learned so much about how to stay calm under stressful situations and animal.
Oh my, I must admit, you had some pretty effective insights throughout this investigation. Perhaps I underestimated you.
How'd I teach you to judge a book by its cover, eh, Professor?
So, I never did hear what your degree was in.
Criminal justice.
Well, this was all very surprising.
I'll say, what a way to start a honeymoon.
Derek and Jennifer, you guys worked really well together to help solve this crazy case.
I suppose we did. You know, we get along much better when we aren't fighting.
You're right, Jen. We need to find a way to keep ourselves on track, listening to each other, and working together on the restaurant instead of working against each other.
If I may, my cooking friends, I happen to know a fabulous musician who's looking for work and is great at keeping people calm and relaxed.
Come on, Nelson. Let's talk terms in the car.
Hey, Lucy.
Hi, Avery.
Are you coming?
Yes, I just can't believe this. I'm really sorry I thought you were a murderer.
Actually, I kind of blame myself. I never imagined Jillian would do anything like that.
You couldn't have known what Jillian would do. I don't think anyone would have guessed it. I know I didn't.
I know this isn't the greatest timing, but I find myself in need of an assistant. Someone who has good organizational skills and someone who's good at taking advice. Someone who might be looking for a job.
Me? You want me to be your assistant?
I know you'll be busy for a few months with all of Isabella's affairs, but when you get a chance, give me a call. Salt Lake City is a great place to live.
I will. Ella, come on.
Ella realized that she was the last train passenger remaining on the platform. And before joining the others, she reflected on the bizarre series of events that befell her and her fellow passengers on West Coast 518. After this trip, it was unlikely that any of their lives would ever be the same. Friendships torn apart, new relationships forged, old relationships made stronger, and new opportunities presented. What an amazing story this would make!
Presentation. So if you need to run off, you can run off, but or you can stay and listen. You guys can go find a seat.
And the seniors can stay here. I will, but I don't want to do that yet. All right, I'm going to seniors first. Nope, you're going to stay, but I have to go get my stuff. All right. I always wanted to have glasses, and now I have to read with them. I'm sorry I ever wanted them. All right. I teach a speech class, which we don't have this year, and I do the drama, and we do fun night. We do the Christmas program. And I have some goals, so this is to try to just give you a little overview. First, I want to help each performer to be better, to hone their craft, to be able to stand up and talk in front of people and not be afraid, and to develop some usable skills, because they don't really know what they're going to do. They think they do, but things change and you just don't know what you're going to need skills for. Second, I want what we do on stage. Anytime we do a presentation, I want it to be honoring to the Lord, so we want it to do well, and we try to perfect things as best we can. And then last, I want each student to be able to be a director, because they don't know what their church will be like, they don't know what they'll end up in, and so I try to we do student coaching, they can make suggestions, I try to act or accept suggestions and let them work on them. So those are skills that we work on. And I really enjoy seeing how students change, and it's kind of fun for me because now this is my 5th year, and so I've had 2 of these girls for 5 years, and it's been cool to see where they were and where they have come and the things they can do. So tonight I get to recognize the seniors, and we're going to start with the newest one. So our newest one is Stephanie. Come, Stephanie. Okay. Stephanie joined us last year, so I had her in speech class, and I have really, and I will talk to Stephanie, but you can listen. I have really enjoyed seeing you develop as a speaker. I'm sorry you were not part of plays for years like these other girls have been, but I did get to coach you in speech last year. We learned a lot about ourselves and about others during that class. Fun night this year, I think it was this year, you played the teacher. I think that was the first time I had you in something, but I can't remember because I'm losing brain cells this weekend. And she was you were in the Christmas play last year when we were training a youth group. I remembered seeing your name on the list of people, because I post a list, who wanted to act in Fun Night skits, and I was so surprised, because all through speech class, she was so nervous and afraid to stand up and speak. You're also quiet in chemistry class too, but I think that's a different reason. I thought that she was really timid, but she surprised me a lot of times with being bold, with being assertive. So you chose a hard part this year. I kind of think you thought you were getting an easy part because you can read a lot of the lines, but portraying that character is really hard. It's the narrator, and you have all these ones like the chef that they just lend themselves to a character, but she had to work at developing that. And so we worked on that, and we had to work on being loud and expressive. And I'm sure you got tired of me yelling while you're speaking, louder! But I do admire that you did not give up, that you kept working the character, and that you didn't cry when I kept making you do it over and over again. The verse I'm giving to you means a lot to me. Like you did with choosing Ella, so often I end up biting off more than I can chew and getting drained physically and emotionally. Galatians 6:9 tells us, and let us not grow weary of doing good, for in due season we will reap if we do not give up. If God gives you the challenges or opportunities, he will give you the strength to do it. So my challenge to you is to keep striving to do the right things, to grow, to bring honor to God, and you will see results. And I'm present. And at the end of this presentation, you have to wear it. There you go. You stay right there. Okay. I want Cherokee Lafino next. These two that are here are veterans because I have had them for 5 years, and I remember them as junior hires. And I apologize, junior high girls. I kept calling you the little girls. You're not really little, but you're not seniors, and so I'm old. Just forgive me. I've had them for 5 years. They're the ones who help me coach the younger players. They keep the flow on stage. They remind me something. When you're watching, you only see so many things, and they remind me of things. They remember to face the audience, to use expression, to pause, and to ad-lib. Every year, my seasoned players graduate, and I think who's going to do it next year, but the next group comes up, and they fill the slot just nicely. So Cherokee, you have always been involved in speech doing since I've been here. Every year you enter poetry recitation for BCSO, and then we have to hunt for a poem. I want to give you narrative poems with characters to portray, but yeah, you always choose odd poems with repetitive words like bells, 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 bells. And Alice, were you the dodo? What did you play in Alice? You were the, oh, you were the White Queen. And we made you very white. Yes, I remember that.
No, you put white makeup on me.
I know.
And told me I was too pale.
Yes.
That I didn't need the white makeup.
Did I say that?
Yeah.
Oh, made you really pale. Okay. I was trying to look things up. My apologies, it's been a bad week. I haven't had much sleep, and I had to get pictures done last night, and that's a whole other story. If you want to hear that, you can hear that later. And so I was trying to pull things up. Midsummer's Night's Dream, you were Quince for the prologue, and you were the director, and you had to put up with Noah Gibbs and Sam Cheater. And we never knew what they were going to do, so you did that. How I Met Your Mummy, you were Pain in the Neck, the Egyptian princess, the priestess, and you had but she had the best looking costume. She had the blue hair and all, if you remember that. And you also got to fight with Luke Turner. And then we had to skip last year. So in Murder on 518, you were Morgan Casey, the private investigator, and you fought with Luke Turner again. I see a pattern. For Fun Night, I remember you were one of the good fairies, and of course you were the one who could not get the spell right. I do appreciate that you're willing to try whatever character I offer you, even Pain in the Neck, because nobody wanted to do that, and I asked you if you would, and you did. So you nurture that willingness to take on things that other people don't think so. But I think I will always associate you with memorization or your ability to give me stress ulcers as I wait for you to confidently memorize your lines. Everything. I've got it. I think I'm going to have it. Well, I'll have it next week. After How I Met Your Mummy, Pastor Guerin said, I didn't know Cherokee could speak that loud. And I didn't know Cherokee well enough to realize that she was not outspoken. So, you keep working on letting your voice be heard, all right? One thing that I admire about you is that you're not afraid to be different from the crowd. So my challenge to you is to strive for excellence, to be the best that you in Christ can be. And the verse I'm leaving with you is 2 Corinthians 5:9. So whether we are at home or away, we make it our aim to please him. And guess what? You and Stephanie are twins. Ta-da! Lily, you also have been involved in speech opportunities since I've been here. I believe you and Cherokee were in my first Fun Night, and y'all wore the footed pajamas, and we sang Hello Mudda, Hello Fada. Yeah, and there were a whole bunch of kids up here singing that. That was back when I didn't know what I was doing. I realized as I was writing this that last year you paired up with Hannah in the Fun Night skit where you pretended to be Hannah and you had to suffer the consequences of Hannah's doings and her bad decisions. I see a pattern here. Hannah is causing you trouble. Alice, you played the Mock Turtle. I remember that because I was thinking, and I remember the green hood and putting it together. I learned something about you, though, with that you really were knowledgeable as a seamstress, and you were very helpful to me when we were making those costumes, and we've never made that many costumes again. A Midsummer Night's Midterm, you were Titania, the Fairy Queen. How I Met Your Mummy, you were Dr. Dusty Bones, the Professor of Antiquity at the museum. We didn't get to do one last year, and this year, you in Murder on 518, you played the pharmaceutical CEO Avery Maloney. I appreciate that you take things in stride. If the situation doesn't go your way, you typically don't spend time fretting or fussing of it, but you let it go and move on. One thing I do like about you, Lily, is that you have opinions. You will give me a decision unless I ask you what part you would like to play, and then it's whatever you think I should play. You often can quickly assess a problem and find a solution, and you can handle the rejection if I choose not to go with your idea, even though you and Cherokee will be very vocal about it for a little bit. You also tend to be aware. I have them right after lunch, just the two of them. And this past week, they've had all kinds of suggestions for me. I lost it. You also tend to be aware of your audience, not just on stage, but one-on-one. If you feel the person you're trying to help, if you feel the person that you're trying to help fine-tune their part is stressing and getting upset, you just backtrack and you just be encouraging. So that's a good thing. I'm going to give you one of my favorite verses, which I found when I was in high school. You like people and you like to see things happen. You will get things done. I don't think you are nearly as much of a bulldozer as I am. I think you're nicer. But the reminder from this verse is good, and it's Proverbs 3:27, which a lot of you students know is a verse that I like. It says, "Withhold not good from them to whom it is due, when it is in the power of thine hand to do it." In other words, if you can encourage somebody and you are the person who are helping, we need to remember to do that. As a parent, I had to remember that. As a teacher, I have to remember that. And you need to remember that too. It's a good thing to remind yourself with. So don't forget to notice and say something when you see someone around you or that you're working with that they're improving. Don't be so focused on tuning them that you forget to be encouraging. And all of you, when you find yourself in the position of putting together a program or directing, send me a note. I really like to know what you're going to be doing down the road. And, of course, I have one for you. You're welcome. So students, okay, student here, so it looks nice. You have to wear your mask. And I need photos of masked people. All right, smile for your audience. Okay, somebody's got to send me one of those, or 2 or 3 of those.
Don't do it.
Oh, do it. My picture's terrible. All right, we have a few housekeeping things to do. We're not tearing down out here, but we need to get a group shot because I placed it terrible. So I'm going to make a better placement today, and we'll try again. And then students doing the play, we have to clean just the stage part out. We'll deal with the rest of it on Monday. Your props and all stuff need to go back there, and you remember you're responsible to make sure a chair gets over there for one of you, each one of you. All right, you are welcome to visit. You kids come over here, let's get a picture, and then we'll tear down real quick what we have to. And we'll be going, if you're here for the cast party, that's over in the lunchroom.